Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. We're back, baby. You got your boys here, Lanny and Bert, the Dividend Diplomats. Today, in our first video we posted in a week here on YouTube, we're going to talk about three winners and three losers of this huge earnings week.
Hi, smash that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. We're back. We're better than ever. Thanks, guys, for staying with us. Welcome back to the channel. We were banned for about a week for potentially harmful videos, but we are not here to do any of that on our dividend stock videos, guys. And as Bert said, this was a blistering week we just had here. We're filming this on the eve of October 30th. So hope you guys had a great Halloween. This was a wild earnings release week. Some stocks did great, some stocks did terrible. So let's dive into three of each.
All right, everybody. And again, make sure you subscribe. And Lanny, since this is our first video back, I think a swag contest is
Oh,
in
okay.
order
All right,
here.
let's do
So
it.
let's do 200 likes,
Let's make it
subscribe.
easy. Let's make it
Yeah,
easy.
200 likes. We want to give out some swag today, everybody. So we'll do that. 200 likes. Share your thoughts below. Share your biggest winners and losers from this earnings week, and we'll pick somebody to deliver some DD swag.
Yeah, so let's kick it off, Bert. You had a huge stock, a stock that was in your
Yeah,
portfolio. Man, they had a record-setting quarter.
that's right. Google ticker symbol GOOGL and GOOG, depending on what class of shares you own. Google had its first ever $100 billion
Wow.
quarter, which is insane. It beat its earnings per share expectations by 35%. They are just firing on all cylinders. They have strong cloud demand. They have strong Google as everything is coming roaring back. Gemini is picking up its adoption. It is firing on all cylinders right now and on its way to $300 per share.
Yeah, obviously Gemini is crawling into all your Google, I guess, compatible items, whether it's a Chromebook, laptop, phone, Google Docs. Gemini is now a premier provider in everything you do via Google, guys. $300 a share almost here, Bert.
Yeah, it's everywhere. So they don't have to split off the browser. They don't have to split off Google Chrome. They're not spinning off YouTube. They're staying in their consolidated entity, and um, they're doing well. And we'll talk about one of their competitors in the biggest losers section of this too, where Google wasn't as fast to the AI adoption, but you're starting to see the strategy come into fruition now. After others did the first movers, they were the second, and it's working out.
Congrats, you guys. Congrats, Bert. Google. Let us know if you guys own Google stock and if you've owned it for a long time, guys. Holler at us in the comments. But jumping into the second stock, a dividend aristocrat stock here, guys. Not one that gets talked about a heck of a whole lot in the dividend investing community, but this company actually in general over the last 5 years has just been on a tear, a surprisingly quiet tear.
Yeah, you never talk about it, but Cardinal Health, ticker symbol CAH, headquartered in Columbus, Ohio, is just on fire. They were up 15% on Thursday, October 30th, after earnings. They beat their estimates. They jumped up that earnings per share guidance from 930 to 950 range to 965 to 985. So the new range is well above that top end of the old range. They showed double digit profit growth in every single one of its sectors. It is. I mean, it's just on fire. There's nothing more to really say for them.
The stock's up 315% in 5 years.
Yeah, this year alone,
Nvidia who? Nvidia who?
that's right. In this year, they're up 60%. So it's just been a
Jeez.
remarkable run for Cardinal Health. And I'm fortunate, Lanny. I have a pretty hefty position in Cardinal Health because I was building up from a long early. This is probably one of my older positions. I have 104 shares of Cardinal Health right now, so I'm very happy to see this range. Seeing the
Yeah.
position at
Nice.
20,000 after its jump.
Heck yeah, guys. Cardinal Health. Congrats. Next, this was a surprising one, but we're going to have to dive into the package delivery carrier, the big brown truck. We did talk about them possibly being at or near the bottom around that $85 share, guys. And Well, here comes UPS coming around the corner because they had a surprisingly beat on expectations here. UPS, ticker symbol UPS.
They're up 8% in the last 5 days. They've cut 48,000 jobs this year, according to some of the articles I think on Reuters. They've improved that free cash flow so much that it now covers the dividend. So the big concern with UPS is, are things so bad they're going to have to slash the dividend? Well, they slashed people, they slashed costs, they slashed everything
They
they could.
slashed the packages in half just to make them
Yeah.
a little lighter.
Yeah. The question
Slash,
is,
they slashed FedEx's tires.
yeah. I mean, we're not celebrating UPS yet, but this is the first quarter where you feel like maybe they're in the midst of that turnaround that people have talked about, and they've stopped the downward spiral that you saw with UPS. Maybe things are better. Maybe things have brighter futures in the horizon, but there's still a long way to go. And I think the difference probably between Google and Cardinal Health and UPS is two of the companies beat strong expectations. I don't think UPS exactly cleared a very high bar. I think the bar they crossed was barely off the ground, and maybe they had to take a step over it to beat expectations. But at least they took a step over the bar instead of rolling on the ground and hitting it and falling down.
Yeah, and obviously, I'm thrilled. I had a $115 covered call that expires on the 31st, so I should be safe.
I would have just been ecstatic. That would have been number one on this list if your shares of UPS were getting called away.
All right, let's
Yeah.
dive into some Lehu Zahers, guys.
Yes.
We
So
are diving into the big name here, the big name in the core system, card processing, um, quasi banking arena slash payments arena. Bert, this stock took a dump, pretty much has lost almost all of their market cap this week.
Fiserv ticker symbol FI is down 48% in 5 days.
Right here, that's not even the worst of it. They're down 68% this year. They have lost. They have gone down from about 200 something per share
They're
to $65 a share.
they're turning over their entire management team for obvious reasons. It's just chaos at the company. Usually, when you see a miss in guidance, you see it close.
Oh,
And they just
this
they
was swinging at jack shit
yeah,
stuff.
and it got downgraded so bad from the guidance. So earnings per share was at a range of 10.15 to 10.30, and now it was just lowered to 8.50 to 8.60. Revenue growth was 10% expectations, and they just dropped it down to 3.5 to 4%.
Now,
Woof.
the funny part about again Fiserv, not to harp on it for too long, but they do not pay a dividend as well. And for any investors out there that thought that they could at one point, take that off the table.
See ya. See ya, Pfizer. So they were by far the biggest loser in my mind here. Number two, Chipotle, ticker symbol CMG.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's been a
Mm.
terrible year for Chipotle.
Yeah.
They dropped 18% after earnings, down to 32.53 a share. They are down 46% year to date. Now, it was just an awful quarter. No sales growth, complaining about higher costs for meat, which everybody is right now. So Chipotle is obviously working through the higher input costs. You can only raise prices so much when consumers are stretched. They're having labor shortages. And the CEO had some interesting quotes about how Gen Z just can't afford Chipotle and they're not spending as much as some of the other generations are because their Gen Z consumers are stretched right now. And Chipotle thrives on younger people in their stores.
Yeah, I think the Chipotle did two things. Introduce something called a mini bowl, $5, maybe like half. There you go.
Oh, you're saying things they should do.
They should do. Create a mini bowl. Because I guarantee you'll get some part of somebody's wallet that you haven't. And then get that breakfast. Get that breakfast burrito. You do that, that revenue engine is turned on.
Yeah, but right now it's not turned on and things are not working for Chipotle.
Maybe that's also partly losing the CEO to Starbucks.
Yeah, that's true. A new leader is stuck navigating some tough times, and you don't have the steady hand that helped build it. Your new team might not see it the same way. So, yeah, it's a fair point. They're obviously
Nichols.
number two on the biggest loser. Number three,
Hmm.
Meta, ticker symbol META, new to the dividend club, dropped 11% after earnings. And I thought this one was fascinating. They took a $16 billion tax hit, but they're in the same issue, same spending levels as Google, Nvidia, Amazon, and everybody in the AI games. But they're the only one that is now getting talked about after this earnings release of, are they overspending? Like, are they pouring too much capex? Are they spending too much capital on AI endeavors? And the article I was reading about it was actually pretty interesting. Where like Google, you see the benefit of the AI coming in. You have the cloud, you have everything else, all the different ways to integrate it. Same with Microsoft, same with Amazon. You see the benefit of AI. Meta AI is just essentially for advertising and for hardware. So, like, what is all this excess spending going to be for at Meta? And I thought that was an interesting point.
Yeah, where's the value add essentially is what the question. What
Yeah.
are we solving here with Meta's AI? Very interesting because of where their footprint is in. Obviously, it extends beyond just Facebook.
Sure.
There's Instagram and other platforms that they have. Who owns WhatsApp? I think they do.
I think they did buy WhatsApp. Yeah.
So, there's definitely, many ways they can integrate their AI. And I'm sure right now they're just like many other companies, because just because Google and Nvidia are firing with AI, I think, there's so much swinging and missing and swinging and getting
Mm-hmm.
a hit that I think they're swinging right now, trying to find that hit.
And they're spending a lot of money too. It's not as if these are small dollars either. And I think that's going to be the issue, the future issue potentially for AI spending is everyone's just throwing money right now, but you don't know what's going to stick, what's going to work, and what's not going to work. So some eventually spending and growth is going to pull back for some of these companies.
Yeah, I mean, and all the stock price outside of probably Google, in that space, everything's just based on very far out in the future outlook.
Mhm.
So, these PEs were already so lofty. So, Meta losing 60, $70 a share is probably healthy.
Probably needed. Yes, that's fair. Some skepticism is probably good for some of these companies.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, as the
yeah.
number one winner was Google. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, so everyone,
But Brian, you owned what? 3 out of the 6, and all you owned the winners. You didn't own the losers.
I didn't own the losers.
Good
I
job.
had plenty of losers in my portfolio. Don't worry, everybody. There wasn't a reason
Bro,
why.
all I do is win, win.
Yeah, no, that is definitely not the case. But the losers always give you the opportunity. Look, are these potential opportunities to invest in? So that's why you focus on some losers right now too.
Yeah, I did have SoFi, a covered call for them at 41, expiring on the 31st, and
Don't think
yep,
they're hitting that one.
no, they were pretty much flat
So
for the
far,
week.
I thought was going to be a winner at the beginning of the week, but they've kind of come back to earth a little bit after earnings. Same with PayPal. They were not on
Yeah,
there.
now they're
PayPal could have been an honorable mention for the losers list because they did not have the pop. They had the initial pop that cooled off, so that's a loss.
so let us know, guys. What were your winners? What were your losers for the week? Plenty of news to be shared. Remember, guys, if you comment, like the video, and subscribe, you'll be entered in the Dividend Diplomat swag giveaway with that oh so cool Dividend Diplomat newly branded coffee mug, guys. So definitely shout us in the comments.
If you haven't already subscribed, give this video a thumbs up, and remember, you're either with us or you're against us. Check.
That was Bert and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats, and let's hope we don't get banned for a single day ever again. Over and out.